Welcome to session 6 of StarFinder, the Fragments of Eternity. I'm Ryan, still the GM. It is the 5th of November 2018 for those who care. Hashtag Calum is precious, hello Nick, and other such shoutouts. Here are my players.
Hi, I'm Olka. I play the Lashanta pilot called Emmelyn.
Hello, I'm Nico. I play Zora, the captain of the ship.
Hello, I'm Alex. I play Nix 5, the android mechanic.
Also, just so you know, Zora is also a Vesk.
Oh yeah, that's also a thing. Lizard man, yes.
Yep.
Aside from the report of gunfire, which is probably not actually...
News from the front! There's still a front!
Yeah. I am Colin, and I will be playing... For you tonight, I will be playing just generally Lyko, who is the sort of speedy bounty hunter, undead guy.
Barai, yes.
Barai, undead. Which is sort of like shit undead.
Yeah, it's like undead minus instead of undead plus.
Shundead.
No.
And I am Calum, who will be playing Zigg, assuming everyone survives. And
no, you could still play Zigg.
actually, no, that's it. If everyone dies, I can keep playing Zigg, so that's fine. So stay tuned for the solo adventures of Zigg through space.
Yeah, he's
Zigg the Merciless.
He's an Ahsoka weird space mystic. So yeah.
Yes.
Also hashtag Calum is precious once more, just because they're free.
I don't know if you could. Yeah. I mean, I am precious. I know I'm precious. Like it's fine. But I don't know if you could like shout out when I'm.
At least you take it as a compliment. The end of that line of innuendo. So, we're here. What do you remember from last week?
Oh, things.
There's a purple cocoon thing
A psychic
exploded.
that
Oh,
went
so-
down.
There was a lovely little horror movie moment when we went up the stairs and there's a thing and but no. If you see, which I'm sure you do.
I mean, I do.
And all the
Yeesh.
orbs wanted to go to the cocoon,
Yep.
and they did. Or
Oh,
something.
they all wanted to go there, and they did, by God!
No, we couldn't stop it.
Yes.
It was either unstoppable or unstopped,
Yeah.
but stoppable.
I mean, did anybody try and stop it? I don't know if you can really
It's
say that
hard
with
to say.
authority, right?
I honestly don't know.
So, yeah, I think we... Oh, someone's becoming a Cylon. And we ended with a figure emerging from the purple light after a big pulse of energy that carved like kind of almost like molten metal runes into all the walls and stuff that it impacted on. I think we pretty much ended there with I think the figure's eyes narrowed. If they didn't, they do now. The figure's eyes narrow. We're going to cut back in to Zora, who is not with the group. So Zora, you're at the ship. What do you do?
Okay. I guess he would probably board the ship, start getting the the pre-flight checks done.
So,
like the
You get back to the hangar. Okay,
Yes.
you're looking at the ship, and like the hangar light, like for let's say the hangar light, I guess what's the word I'm looking for? The cargo ramp light flickers off and flickers on and flickers off and flickers on, as if it's like low power.
Okay.
Yes.
right. As in the ships, all the hangars.
Oh no, the hangar's been dark the whole time.
Right.
Like the entire facility's been pretty dark. Like you've been through some alarmed corridors that even struggle to run the alarms sometimes as well. Like I was on your way back from last week, but getting here, obviously your ship operates
so whatever's
independently.
affected the station is affecting the ship as well.
Well, you could say so, yeah.
Right. Cool.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say that, but you could say that, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I would go try the cargo door. I'll try.
Oh no, like the ramp's down. You just didn't lock your ship, so it's
right,
open.
right, cool. Right, so yeah, I would board the ship then and start trying to do some checks.
What are you checking then? Are you gonna I mean,
See if the power's still working. Let's see if we can start. I don't know what spaceship pre-flight checks are in the future, but
I mean, does Zora know
those
what they are
things-
now? Like,
I'm sure I would at least know how to do something.
what's your
Maybe
piloting score?
terrible?
Is it even trained?
No.
Well, sure. I mean, you can make a check, yeah.
Oh wait. It has a career skill, but it's not trained.
I mean, that doesn't mean you actually bothered to learn it in your career, though, does it?
I did.
Being
I did,
dropped
no.
from spaceships doesn't teach you how to fly them.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
Dropping spaceships on people also doesn't teach you how to fly them.
Doesn't it?
We'll scratch the flight checks then, and I will make sure that the ship is secure. There's no blobs in the ship. That's probably a good idea. And I will
Define
drag
blobs.
plasmoids.
Shit.
Define, make sure. No. So, okay, yeah. You head up the ramp. You go past the Viktor pollen thingy that's in the ramp all the time, and the cargo bay that's, Emmelyn's personal effects. You walk past the cargo part. You get to the smuggler's compartment, and there's like maybe 7 or 8 helmets and pistols just lying on the ground.
Were they there before? Should they have been there before?
I feel the answer is no.
I'm pretty sure the answer should be no.
The answer is no.
Yeah. Okay. Helmets and pistols.
Yeah.
I will check the compartment with the box, the crate, the container.
Sure, yeah. As you head up to the, because we established it wasn't in the same exact area as the cargo hold, but it's kind of behind and underneath the cargo hold, I think we said last time. So yeah, that way, and the door to the kind of covering panel, if it's in the floor and sunk in, half of that seems to have been kind of eaten away.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, similar Scots marks to plasmoid Scots marks by chance?
No, not at all.
Oh, definitely. Okay, I'm getting quite creeped out.
But there's more there's helmets and knives lying on the ground now, in just piles.
Why? Just why? Why?
But this is what I love though, because I was like, would that be what Zora was like? Should sorry, he gets there and it's just like, but why? I don't need this.
That's exactly what he's thinking. He's
This
like,
was meant
what?
to be the safe mission.
Yeah, I would pull open the container. Pull off the panel.
Yep. So it
panels.
kind of twists a bit and bends off because it's not obviously ideal anymore, right? Because it's been broken.
Not structurally intact.
Yeah. But it bends off, and yeah, you can see, in the dark, of course, with your eyes. Yeah. You see a kind of almost shimmering kind of reflection of yourself in the dark. Just as you're looking down into where the crate would be slotted, if you're looking down on top of the crate.
I guess Zora would probably raise his gun. That's probably something he would do.
Sure, yeah.
He shouldn't be seeing reflections of himself.
I don't like my own reflection. The Vesk outlawed
Give me a
mirrors.
mirror.
Amazing.
But yeah, is the crate still there? I guess.
You can't see the top of the crate, if that's what you're asking. You can see a shimmering kind of, you can't really see colour, because I think your dark vision's black and white, so, or it's dim light vision or whatever it is you've got.
No, it's dim light vision. I've got dim light vision. Yeah.
In that case, you're probably need a torch then, in which case you see a blue shimmery liquid. And you kind of see a reflection in it. And then, as you're staring into it, there's a kind of, almost as if something almost like somebody's underwater and they're swimming up to the surface. You can kind of see a head slowly coming out of it. It's not at the surface yet, it's just coming up through the water, if you will.
Okay.
What do you do?
I would take a step back and
And there's not that much room in the smuggling kind of compartment, obviously, because this crate was 6 foot by 6 foot.
I would take a half step back then.
Oh no, you can take your step back, but there's not much room beyond that,
Right, cool. And I'd definitely train my gun on said thing coming out of liquids.
Sure. The head starts to crown, I believe is the official term, and
Push.
it fires a kind of, you hear like a kind of almost like a, I believe the term is schloop noise, as a helmet flies out of this kind of shimmering bluish liquid, and it just like bumps into the side and rolls about, and it's just an empty helmet. What do you do? You're also muted if you're speaking. Assuming everybody's still here.
Yes.
Everyone,
Wow.
presumably, yes.
Nico, are you still with us?
God.
Hmm.
But that's
Oh, that's tense now, isn't
Spooky.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, this just got a whole lot more.
Oh,
Just-
man.
Let's just tag him and see if we can. Is he responding in some way? Because the problem is Discord's delayed by quite a bit, so we would never really know. But I would have thought he'd have dropped off of Roll20 by now.
So we to assume that his mission went very badly wrong.
Well, you might be done a captain, guys. So I look forward to the votes.
I vote for Zigg.
Well, sadly, the votes are between the current cast, right?
there is a rip.
Yeah, he's gone. It's fine. Okay, we'll fade out on him there. As like Zora's just looking at this helmet that gets slooped out of the blue liquid, and then we will cut across to. Let's go for Lyko.
Hello.
Well, I go for Lyko. So you're in a access corridor at the kind of the outer shell of this lab structure. I think I said you got to the top of the steps by this point.
Yes, which is where I saw the visage of someone or something.
Yes. Obviously, you've felt this massive like shake and shudder and pulse, which, if you were paying attention to the timeline, would be the exact moment this thing emerged. What do you do? Obviously, you're not aware of the emergingness.
Yeah, on account of that, I don't react to the thing I'm not aware of.
But you are aware of the shaking and shuddering
Yeah,
part.
I'm aware of that. Well, I would continue. I mean, this is where the thing that I'm approaching the Sorry, I've gone blank in the word. The
release column thing. Yeah.
I wanted to call it a lever.
Yeah,
I
that'll
don't know
do.
if it is a lever.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, this is where I'm going. This is.
I
my
mean,
objective.
Alice hasn't told you what it is, right? So, like, you're heading
I'm
to
assuming
it.
it'll be off. So yeah, I will continue on for the release.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, it is nearby. It's like literally like at the top of those stairs, and then it's like behind the if an emergency, just open this glass because you don't need to break it.
Cool. I think we have our.
Don't
Hello.
worry. Welcome back. We'll come back to you in a wee second.
Assuming firework at a power line there or something,
Oof.
because my power cut. Like, and there's
Lovely.
people outside all up the street, like wondering what the fuck.
You know
going
what
on.
happens
Right,
though when they interrupt communications, though? It's prelude to an invasion.
Yeah, that is actually getting invaded. We were just making jokes about the war, but like it's happening.
What's
It's,
up, Lyko? What was up?
So yes, I'll continue towards it, and I will hit the release.
Yeah, sure. Like, so big kind of like like a proper old fashioned railway kind of lever where you have to like pull in the handle and then pull the
Yep.
whole thing back. It's like it's one of those, and you pull it back. You hear the chunk, and then you almost feel like like where there'd be like a hydraulic pressure you'd pull back on.
Sure.
There's not that. It just kind of like pulls out with no effort, and then like when you let go, it just pulls itself back up.
So that's probably a concerning development.
It doesn't look broken though. It just almost feels like maybe there's more to it.
Yeah. Because I think he would have expected some sort
Yeah.
of feedback when he was doing that, so he'll probably be a little concerned, but I think having done that, there's not really a whole lot there, is there? I mean, I don't see any reason for him not to just return, especially considering the shudder's got more intense and he's probably curious about what's going.
I mean, you could always calm someone, right? That you're there. I guess there is that option. Because I mean, you got into
It's
position,
true,
but then
but I
never
don't
told
have any
anyone.
particular reason to assume it was sourced from the source. It was originating in the room.
I just meant to
um,
say I'm in position. Who else is in position for these levers? That's what I meant. Sorry.
Yeah, that's true. Could do that.
I do
But
have to.
I mean,
Just
I
a
think
few
he would. I think he would just do it first,
Yeah.
Perhaps it'd be worth calming in after I've done it. So I will do that, in fact, and I will just calm to everyone, saying, "All right, so one down. I think not much feedback."
So people who actually receive that message would be Zora is definitely. In fact, to be honest, Zora isn't in range because see when I was looking at the comms are if you're actually able to tap into the planetary network, you get planetary coverage. So I'm going to say that Zora is probably out of range of the comms at this point because you just haven't tapped into the station comms to run that through. And this station's big.
Yeah.
And you're on like the outer ring. So yeah, you're probably out of range of Zora. But you're in range of Emmelyn, who gets that message. Next 5, you do not get that message. I'll get to you. So yeah. Feel free.
If I got that message,
Yeah, you got it, yeah.
imagine, yeah. So I imagine I would reply saying I'm in position,
Yeah.
and then I would put I'm gonna pull on it, and so I just actually do pull on as well.
Yeah, like the same type of feeling, big kind of railway lever. You pull in the top handle and it releases the main shaft of it. You pull it down, it just clicks down, and then when you let go of it, it just pulls itself back up.
So nothing happened.
So no, not that you can see. At least nothing you can see. It does, as I said, that same feeling of this is moving without really feeling like it's connecting to anything.
Mhm.
So yeah.
I would come as Lyko and say nothing happened. Is that the same for you?
Yeah, it's not very responsive, but I don't know if nothing's happening, but didn't feel right.
Maybe we need to have all 4 of them. Is it 4?
Yeah, 4.
Maybe we need to have all 4 of them at the same time. Or there's some other lever we have to find, or button or something. There might be more to it.
Yeah, that would make a degree of sense, but not getting much from the others.
No, I think we should maybe check on next 5. He should be in position by now, but he's not replying.
I'm gonna head back, and as I say that, I've probably already started heading back.
Like maybe you're having this conversation, you climb back down the ladder. So
Yeah, and I'll head back as well.
maybe you do that thing where you look over the edge slightly to see that nobody's on the ladder, and then
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I think he probably would, considering.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. Spookiness and all. Right, okay. So 1 wee second. We're gonna go back to Zora. So Zora, the last thing that happened was the shloop noise as a helmet like flies up out of this blue liquid and then starts just bouncing along the ground and then kind of lands in the pile of like knives. Yes, we're back there. What do you do? What's up? Check it out.
Let's go back to the old faithful, shall we? Let's prod the goop with my doshko, like just get a wee prod, like go back to our roots.
Sure, yeah. So are you just gonna like tap it? Or are you gonna like push the doshko into it? Or are you gonna smack the doshko in like an axe? Like
tap it carefully at first, like a boop.
Yeah, like you kind of like you go to boop it. Obviously you've got your torch in one hand and your doshko held single-handedly, unwieldily, and you kind of like prod it. And as you go to like touch it, the kind of like bluish liquid just kind of like shimmers, kind of like a silvery metallic, and then it just slowly like creeps up a bit like kind of like putty. It just kind of creeps up the doshko a little bit. And obviously, like you've booped it, so you've pulled it away, and it like sloops back, and then kind of the shimmery silver vanishes, and it goes back to that bluish liquid. And then from below, you see a light from like the kind of, it illuminates like a big kind of almost bluish cube because of the shape of the crate, obviously, and you see like a big blue glow, like hit you. And obviously, maybe we get the shot from the back where you've booped it, and then you pull back, and then we just get the shot silhouetted of Zora glowing with this blue light. All of a sudden, and what do you do, Zora?
Probably try and scramble out of the smuggler's deck because this doesn't seem safe.
Okay, yeah. Like as you start to like head up, you hear a sloop, and the light goes a bit funny and goes like a kind of like whitish light, like an LED light almost. And then you hear clank, clank, clank rolling on the ground, and the light source moving. You look round, and there's a flashlight lying on the ground now.
This is
The flashlight's on and
Spot.
just like rolled into like a position where it's hit off like a helmet and a couple of knives, and it's just like projecting this weirdly sharp image from all the silhouettes of the knives on the wall of this very kind of cozy smuggler's compartment, shall we say. So Zora, what now?
I guess at this point I would probably try and calm the crew.
Yeah, I mean you can try and calm them. Yeah,
Yeah, I would probably.
I mean you just, you
Well,
kind of just get
but-
crackling back. I mean you could use the ship comms, which are like stronger. So if you had to like the cockpit, you could actually use the ship's comms to try and get wider, like a bigger range. Sorry, but it would be kind of one of those you can ping out and try and pick up their signals that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, you could try that if you wanted. Yeah.
Yeah, I would probably head to the bridge / cockpit and try that then, for sure.
Yeah, cool. Like you head there. Yep. Doors are difficult because there's no power. But yeah.
These difficult doors.
Mm.
Door puzzle after door puzzle.
You know me.
Got love those door puzzles. I might able to get through though.
Yeah, I mean, you've
Just
had to
just
wrench
like
open the door for Lyko enough.
cool. So I
Man,
guess I would
remember,
try.
you don't wait for doors, Nico. We discovered this, remember?
Doors wait for you.
Yeah. And wait, they did. Those amazing athletics checks last time.
But
yeah.
yeah, I would try and ping the crew from the ship's communications.
Cool. So well, maybe we zoom out with you like pushing through the cockpit, maybe scrambling out of that like the smuggler's hold, and being like, and then obviously maybe the shot we get is like as you're like scampering out of the smuggler's hold, we just see like your tail like whipping up and out of the hold, and then we hear the clank, 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 and it's the the flashlight rolling into the front of the camera, and that light blinding the camera is where we scene change over to Nix 5 and Alice. Welcome to the party. So, you have this silhouetted, tall, lankyish figure staring at you with like piercing eyes.
I hold my gun close
Mm.
and identify yourself.
Like you're finding it difficult to like keep track of them. It's as if like almost like a mirage, I guess, is the best way to kind of put it from like Nix 5's perspective, where it's not the easiest thing to see, if that makes sense. Like it's almost like am I like seeing things? Is this here? So yeah, it's quite tough to actually focus on it almost. But by that I don't mean it's blurry. It's almost like one of those flickering. Is it actually there? Is it not there? Sometimes you see it, but you can always see the way the light reacts. The light hasn't changed, so it's not like it vanishes and the shadows of it vanish. You still are aware of the shadows that it casts. So yeah, it's almost as if something's messing with your eyes. But anyway, so you've said something anyway. So
Yes.
you say identify yourself, and you hear like this kind of a throaty, guttural kind of like almost as if something's clearing its throat. Not going to make any sound effects because I don't think I'd get the effect that I wanted, quite frankly. But some kind of almost like croaking, waking up, growling noise. You hear like reverberate around the room, which again, from your perspective, if we all see this from Nix 5's perspective, like it's as if the audio does cut out in like stutters, as if you're also struggling to hear this thing. And then you see Alice in the suit turn round and then just kind of stare blankly at you as if, what the fuck do we do now? And then turns round to that. And then you hear, again, something you can't necessarily understand, unless, do you want to list all the languages you speak for me?
Oh god, yes. Where did I put those?
Every day you might want to prepare this because this might become relevant soon, so make sure you know what languages you speak.
Common,
Vesk.
Akitonio, Akatonian, Isoki, Vesk, Versite, Cast Rebellion, and Shobad.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. No, you definitely don't understand this. So this thing has this kind of, again, very guttural, throaty sound that comes out of its, what you can assume is its mouth. And it, as I said, it fills the room like someone, like walking in from the cold into a hot kind of open fire. Like you have that, like the voice fills the room that way, kind of surrounds you, as if you can definitely feel its presence with its words, almost like its voice carries power. And it says something, and you see Alice kind of like put like a hand on a hip and like scratch her head, obviously with the clunky helmet and the gloved hand, and then she kind of turns around, she shrugs at you, and then you see her turn around, and then you hear her start to like croak and speak, but it's obviously electronic, like a tinny version coming back, and then the thing's eyes dart straight to her, and it just stares straight at her. And then you hear like another guttural, like kind of sound resonate through the room, and then Alice starts like a comm signal to you.
I'll pick that up then.
Yeah, so it opens up, and it basically starts translating. So she's doing her best to translate, and it comes up, "What are you?" is what she's translating, and then it just comes up ... and then Alice turns around, and you can kind of like see her talking to you, and she's like, "I think it's asking when." And then like as Alice is looking at you, like this thing turns round and is staring at you as if noticing you properly for the first time. And then Alice just kind of shrugs and turns back and goes, and then again the electronic tinny growling, and then she turns back and goes, "I told it it's 317 AG." And then you hear, and again you hear this perfectly clear, you hear like the really horrible guttural, like AG, as if it's straining the term AG. And then Alice translates more, and then you see "after the gap" is what she's saying back to this figure. And then its eyes narrow again, and then you just hear, and you can understand it, and Alice can understand it, the audience understand it because it's in space common. "Wrong." And then you see him start to cast. So his hands start to move, and all the runes that are burnt into the walls, all the kind of like glowing hot metal runes, they all just start pulling back towards him and starting to spin round. And then there's a massive pulse. You and Alice are both smacked back the way, just so you know, off your feet, and that thing is gone. There's like almost like red tears and like kind of purple cracking light that comes through the tears where it was, and then they start to like fizzle and shimmer out, and it kind of leaves out kind of weird like visual effect of like almost like a fractured looking kind of room, as it all slowly pieces itself like back together as these tears seal up with the purple light vanishing, and then the room light starts to flicker on, and I think maybe as that happens we've got Lyko maybe walks in the room at that point.
Okay.
And at that point you definitely know that like the room shook again as you like basically went for the door to get in, like the service access door. As you walked through that, like that's when the shudder happened, and that's when he would have vanished, the figure.
So I would just sort of emerge to see them staring at each other, probably.
Yeah, but like you walk in, the lights have flickered on as well, which is new.
Okay.
And all evidence of the chrysalis is gone, I take it.
Oh yeah, that was like,
Yeah.
again, the chrysalis kind of went in a weird energy cocoony mode type thing, and then this thing came from
Yeah.
that.
So there's nothing, no remains of it.
You know,
or
like
anything.
pretty much there's very little left in this room because most things were burnt with those runes carved into them.
It's too late. We couldn't stop it.
Okay. What?
Yeah, I love it's too late, we couldn't stop it, and like I was like, sure.
The crystal, there was something in it.
Yeah.
and it's-
He's looking at where it used to be. So that's different.
yeah, like the containment unit thing that was around it. So like there's very little of that left. Let's put it that way.
Alice, what language was it speaking?
And she kind of like picks herself up in a kind of like really obviously robotic autopilot kind of way, where the suit self-rights itself. And then she turns and goes, "Well, and then she just stops, and then kind of like you can see her eyes are like moving from side to side, and the faceplate, and then she stops and goes, "Well, I was speaking Eox," and kind of like gestures vaguely to you, as if that made everything make sense. Like, but the thing, and she gestures vaguely to where it was standing, because, well, I'm not sure if it was here, because I could, it was here, then it wasn't here, then it was here again. And it kind of like makes like vague motions with her hands, where she's like almost as if she's like karate chopping, but then karate chopping a slight bit in front of herself, as well as if it was here, but then it was here, but then it wasn't here. Obviously she's running off complete sensors, so maybe it was messing with her as well. And it was speaking something much older. I patched some languages together to try and match what it did, I think. Or I got it all wrong.
And
she shrugs.
It didn't seem to like the idea of the gap.
And she kind of like eye rolls as if she's thinking what she thinks of it, and then kind of just like wanders off to like investigate the burnt out like area it emerged from.
Older than Eox. That's interesting. Their civilization is well, it's been dead longer than most have been around.
Yeah, I think when it says old in the dictionary, it just says see Eox, doesn't it? Really? So.
Yeah.
Maybe it didn't like the idea of the gap because it's from before.
We have no idea how long it was out in the diaspora.
There might be something recorded here, but time can be, hard to keep track of.
Yes.
At this point, Lyko, I think you realise as well, like maybe as you're looking around the room and going, maybe there's something recorded here, and you look around and see how trashed the place is, you realise you don't have that creepy feeling of someone watching you anymore. Like, maybe this is the point where you just take notice of the lack of noticing something.
Okay. That's interesting. Actually, I would probably call Alice specifically. Hey,
do you mean,
said...
when you say specifically, do you mean privately to Alice?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Sorry, I should have been more clear.
That's fine, yeah.
Why specifically older than Eoxian? Any particular reason behind that choice?
And you can see that she's kind of like up staring at like one of these, like the final lines of like the kind of the orange cracks that are like, again, this purplish light pouring through it. And you can see her like almost up, like as if she's rubbing her hand up against it. And as she does, it's almost like a hand on glass. Like, but I mean like a bare hand where you see the impression of it. And then she kind of like smears the kind of the armoured hand across the crack, and you see it all kind of like as if it's reacting to her. As it slowly just seals up. And she's kind of like, huh, sorry, what were you saying? And she kind of just like pivots on the spot and turns back to you. And,
yeah. So, I was saying, you specified older than Eoxian. Is there a particular reason? Like, I'm not a language guy, he says self-evidently. But was it like similar?
She kind of like looks as if, when you've been talking to someone that has not paid attention or clearly was like, I have agreed to things I am really not prepared for. So that kind of look of, I am processing, and also mild panic. So she's staring back and she goes, well, like really firmly, well, Eox is old, and well, there was things before Yox, and those things are older. And she kind of like, again, brings it like the timeline projection that she made previously, only obviously it's got like just a picture of the word Eox at one point and then the word before. And then she's like, so when things come before, they're not quite what these things are, and we know it's not anything after Eox because everything's documented. So, and then she kind of like gets to the point where like the timeline moves past Eox and gets to the gap, and she goes, but kind of doesn't say anything. The gap kind of moves past, and it goes up to now with a smiley face of Alice. And she's like, so we're here. So this thing's either from the gap or from before.
Sure.
And then she goes before and she moves the timeline all the way back to you see Eox, and it goes to the before word again. And she goes, and I'm not a betting AI, I think, and my money would be on before, because it didn't seem to like the gap. And she plays back the sound file, and it's just like dead noise, like the kind of static of dead noise, as if it's picked up nothing. And then she kind of looks confused and sad at her hand, and closes like the audio file.
I see your thinking. I follow, but I was just curious if there was a reason you said that use that particular frame of reference rather than just saying older than anything that we speak. Because I was curious if you'd maybe thought it was a form of their language, a predecessor, a direct ancestor. I don't.
She kind of just shrugs back at you, going, that sounds like a good idea.
Oh, yeah. It's nothing that made you think it might have been something obvious, but before the...
It's pronounced obvious.
What?
She just corrects the way you're speaking, even though you're not even trying to say that word. Because you said obvious, but she's just correcting you because she's contrary.
Just a thought, you know.
She taps like the side of the helmet, as if, and it like does a determined look on her face, and kind of nods at you, as if she's understood everything.
You don't think could have been, I mean, I didn't see it, but I don't think it could have been. But an Elebrian? Is it Elebrian or Elebrian? Just
I mean, what would Lyko say?
I think Elebrian sounds better the way he speaks.
Yeah,
probably.
and that's what you would say.
Yeah.
I mean, people would read it in this world just like you've read it in this book. So,
yeah.
You know, she kind of looks at you, and as if like now it seems like you've given her information she's never had before. And she goes, "It did kind of look vaguely Elebrian." And kind of like slowly like nods, but like her head just slightly goes back a bit too far, and then she kind of starts staring at the ceiling. And then she's like, "Oh," and then maybe the camera like focuses as, you know, say Nix and yourself. Maybe you both look at it, and you just see like the metal's all bent and buckled, and it's starting to crack. And she's like, "Oh, that's not good." And then we cut there. Briefly, what's Emmelyn doing at this point? Because she's kind of just in a external hatch corridor like herself, and the place is shook again. You have none of that. See that psychic pressure you've been feeling as well?
Yeah.
That you know you've been physically or mentally, I should say physically holding back. Feels like you've been physically holding it back, yeah.
Physically, mentally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's pronounced psychically, isn't it? As you've been psychically holding it back, all that pressure's like gone. It's one of those, you know, where you take your brow off after a long day feelings, you know. It's that like relief of, oh man. So
The one we're all familiar with.
yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, we've all had that.
Yeah.
But you get that as soon as the second like shockwave is over.
Right. I think because she was coming back from the hatch thing.
Okay, right. So you were heading back as well, yeah.
So she was heading back, and she.
Maybe when you get
I
to the
think at
bottom
that
of the
point-
stairs, like to the bottom of the ladders, maybe that's when you get that kind of, kind of relaxing, no more pressure vibe.
I think that would alarm her.
Yeah, it's probably why
Something's
you've stayed here long enough for that conversation to have happened.
Yeah. So I think cautiously head back towards where Nix is.
Yeah, like maybe I like the idea that we've obviously fade out on the that's not so good scene from the lab. We maybe then like the camera pulls back and it goes through the corridor where maybe you're just sat maybe with like your knees up to your like chin, just at the bottom of the stairs briefly as you're like psyching yourself up to go back into the main lab, and then the camera does that thing where it drifts out of the outer ring and goes all the way back up and through the hangar doors into the cockpit where we see Zora like pull open the cockpit door. The camera goes through the cockpit window to be in the cockpit as Zora steps in from the door side. And Zora.
Hello.
Hello again.
Hello again. But yeah, he would go straight to the comms. Start trying to comm in. Probably. Like,
Who are you going to
hello?
come first? Or just like a wide range comm? Because you've got
Yeah, probably a wide range. Probably try to get a hold of the first person that I can. Really.
Now keep in mind this would alert anyone with a comm in the range of the ship.
Right, in the range of the ship. So the ships, that's quite a bit in it actually.
Oh yeah.
Ships,
You can
comms.
private comm people of course, but this like open comming in the diaspora, you can do it. I wouldn't.
Right, so who would Zora first think of when he's thinking of creepy wormholes spitting out equipment? Who's the most? Nix. He'll come Nix. It'll come Nix. Yeah.
Yeah, so like
you probably.
I think maybe we've got the scene where Nyx is staring at the ceiling, where Alice has pointed out that there's a crack, and you maybe get like startled a bit by whatever Zora's first word is to you on the comm.
I believe. Nix. Can you hear me?
I'm under fire, Nyx. Can you hear the gunshots behind me?
Captain.
Good. You're here. What do you know about wormholes?
I can check the data logs.
There's no time for that. Right.
Don't go into it. What else you need to know?
There seems to be a wormhole where we left my crate.
In the crate?
What I assume to be a wormhole. No, there's no crate. There's just a wormhole. Is that right? Was the crate not there anymore? Is that right?
Well, you were looking down into the compartment where you stored the crate, and so you're looking down. So if the crate had a top to it, which it did, it no longer did. You just had this shimmering blue field.
Right. Cool. Right. So I take that back, and I just
I'm done.
The crate seems to have been opened, and there seems to be some kind of wormhole inside it. It's spitting out equipment. By chance, are the helmets the same helmets as what the guards were wearing?
No, they're just like generic, like helmets. There's no. It's like if you're in Starship Troopers, other shows exist and sci-fi series exist as well, but it's like generic helmet to put on head. Like you'd buy it out of the the Space Army surplus store,
Okay. Yeah, there seems to be just random equipment getting spit out of it. It's I don't know about wormholes. Do you know what about wormholes?
This is great because of the idea that like you've sent Zora off to get the ship prepared, and what the first thing you hear back from Zora after your weird experience with the purple goop man is, "What do you know about wormholes? We don't have time for you to know about things. Just tell me what you know." Also, Nico, are you setting off firecrackers in your room?
No, it's literally right next door, unfortunately.
My
That's
God.
what all the
You should go outside and scream and go, "I am trying to be a space lizard."
It is not a war scene right now. Please refrain.
I just like the idea that always in the background of a Vesk's mind is the war.
It's just PTSD constantly.
But yeah, so how does Nyx reply to this?
Don't touch it.
Too late.
Maybe is he going, too late, he's got the Doshko in that hand, and he's just looking at the tip of it, and he's like,
Can... We've got other issues just now, Captain.
Issues?
There's...
What's going on?
Well, The disturbance on the station may be over. Ish.
I love the idea that this is probably the most worrying thing ever, is to hear the term "ish" coming from Nix 5.
Yeah, as soon as it says ish, you would probably like ish, you would like to investigate an equivalent to an eyebrow raise, you know. Like
What was it? The ocular ridgel raise? Yeah.
ocular ridge raise.
The entity that was producing the psychic effect is gone, but
That's when Zora's like, Emmelyn's gone.
I'll leave you gone for like
Because like obviously,
45 minutes.
like keep in mind, Nico, like you stopped paying attention to that kind of situation when you ran off through the decontamination doors, so you know nothing about what's in that lab at all. Like the weak artillery laser fire, the lifting of the doors, the getting jammed in release hatches, nothing. Nor a purple cocoon.
So I assume that you've already released the compartment.
not exactly.
Looks around.
What the hell are you all doing?
Maybe the shot of that is Nick's kind of like on his comm looking around at the room that's totally trashed and it's getting cracks about it and like the weird purple light and everything, and then it's like, not exactly.
I think we'll be making our way back soon, Captain. Try not to fall into the wormhole.
I will definitely try not to do this.
If you can put the lid on, that would be best.
Yeah, there's no lid.
Then, okay.
Wormholes don't have lids, man. You're a fraud, damn it.
But yes, you might want to eject this compartment as soon as possible. Whatever's affecting the station is also affecting the ship. We can't get prepped to get off this station until everything's fixed.
I mean, you're literally using the ship's power right now to calm them.
Yeah, I know, but it's all janky and cutting off and stuff. Like,
No, like
it's getting affected.
No, the signal has been completely fine.
That's it. Is it not resolved itself since the thing disappeared?
I mean, you wouldn't know. And he wouldn't know he's basically just been pulling doors open to get into a cockpit because he doesn't want to be in that compartment anymore.
We'll be back as soon as we can, Captain. Shooting the path is clear.
Good. I'm gonna go try and deal with this wormhole situation.
Cue the solo adventures of Zora, and maybe the last jump's a jump home.
But it's just like an opposite saga of Quantum Leap.
And then you've got Alice with you. Okay, so maybe like I'm gonna go deal with this wormhole situation. The comm's cut off, and we're just like we've got Nick's looking around in the current room. And I think maybe at that point, Emmelyn, maybe you walk in.
Yeah.
Cool. So the other hatch, like you guys hear like the wrenching of metal, and maybe it startles everybody in the room, and he's all turned to the other hatch, which was on the other side of the lab, the opposite one from where Lyko came from, and obviously Emmelyn walks through, or cartwheels through. I don't know. I'm not going to roleplay for you.
I think she just walks through, but quite slowly and casually, and she just sees that there's nothing left in this compartment.
Yeah, it's
and
like burnt out.
And I think because she doesn't feel the psychic bullshit anymore, she feels a bit more confident about using her own psychic bullshit, so she'll talk at both Lyko and Nix, not Alice, and just say, where did the purple crystal go?
So are you talking psychically to them, or are you going to use
Yes,
your
I'm talking
comms?
psychically
Okay,
to them, and I asked if we fixed it, because we've done something, right?
We couldn't stop it. It hatched.
What came out of that?
I'm not sure.
That's not helpful.
It,
What did it look like? Where did it go?
I'm not sure.
It was just a big, tall, slender figure, kind of silhouetted. That's where it looked like, just for you guys' actual knowledge.
Are you firing these questions still at both of us?
Yes.
Or-
Yeah.
Okay. So I asked I'll explain later exactly why. I asked Alice if it looked like it could be an Elebrian, and she said, yeah, kind of.
You've got Alice kind of waving in front of you at the moment, Emmelyn, as if she's been trying to get your attention this whole time.
I
Like,
ignore her.
yeah, I get that, but like then she turns like round as if talking to the others and then turns back. Anyone listening to Alice, she's like, I think she's gone. Just slowly waving at her and turning round to you guys to repeat that.
The captain has a situation as well. The-
Elaborate.
He was muttering about a wormhole on the ship. Whatever was in the crate is now no longer in the crate. So, given that we seem to have, I won't say resolved the situation here, but the situation has resolved itself, I suggest we make haste back to the ship.
Wait, there's a wormhole on my ship.
That's what the captain said, but
I just like the shot of, wait, there's a wormhole on my ship, and you've just got like the green LEDs of like next 5, and it just like blink really slowly. That's what the captain said.
we should go and check it ourselves, I think.
I agree. And I think at that point, I would actually just start walking toward the way out. Because it's my ship. I'm fairly concerned.
Yep.
And about the captain as well. I don't want him to fall into a wormhole.
I mean, there is that, yeah. He's a useful sort. Yeah, okay. So, what is Lyko and Nick's doing? Because I think Emmelyn's just heading for like the half-opened kind of lab door, right?
Yeah, I'm just out. I'm going.
Yeah. Right, so you see Emmelyn disappear under the half-opened like shutter door thing, and she's gone.
I'm just sort of looking around quizzically. Yeah, well, I guess the releases don't really matter now. If fuck it, and I'll just follow her.
Did you com that to anyone, or did you just keep
To
that?
everyone.
Oh, cool.
I guess he's right. Then Nick should follow on.
Yeah, okay.
But let me know if you see any plasmoids.
Who are you saying that to?
Just general open comms.
Cool, yeah. Zora, are you still listening to Nix at this point, or are you broken off?
I would have broke off.
Yeah,
I would have broke off when I said I was going to go deal with the wormhole situation.
Yeah, so I think what we see Lyko heading after Emmelyn, maybe doing that half jog thing as he goes under the door to catch up with her. You've got then Nix just ending comms, and then kind of, I guess, the shoulders sagging a little and heading off under the door as well in his standard android way. And then you've got Alice just kind of standing there looking as it Nix 5 leaves, I should say. And she just kind of like looks around the room one last time, and kind of like puts her hands on her hips and kind of like sighs, goes, ah, and then looks around and then kind of goes, oh, and then turns around and starts running to catch up with everybody, forgetting that she's to go with you guys because she's so used to being able to just be where you are, just to give you some of her inner thoughts. So yeah, she realizes she has to physically move herself now, which is a new experience for her.
I would also remind her to grab the computer when we pass it.
Well, that's out in the T-junction where she ditched it.
Yep.
But yeah, like, so we fade out on you guys there, and we zoom back in on the wonderful Zora.
Oh, hello.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would have made my way back to the smuggler's compartment. Would there be any way to drag the crate out? Like,
I mean, you could push the button that helps you get the crate out. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to do such a thing.
Cool, yeah. So you get there, and there's like also there's like what looks a bit like a body lying on the ground now when you go back, and it's all like spooky shadows because of the flashlight that's in its way.
Okay. I guess I'll check the body out first then.
Yeah, you get.
See if I can identify it.
So you're going in closer. Do you want to roll a perception check for me? Yes. The first roll of the night.
The first roll of the night.
Make it the standard one that we all know to expect now.
Okay. And perceiving.
Yeah, perceiving.
Body. That's like. Oh.
I'll do. Yeah.
Perception, where are they? There they are.
Okay, yeah. So as you go in, your eyes take that kind of a second to adjust because obviously it's like got this like giant stark lighting hitting the exit that you scampered out of. And maybe you do that thing where you go down a couple of steps, stop really suddenly because you spot something, you're like, that wasn't there before, what's this, that's body shaped, and you kind of like narrow your eyes a bit and see past the light of the flashlight and you realise it's just an empty suit of armour. Yeah, just like generic kind of body armour, just lying on the ground.
Right. Well, I mean, on the plus side, we're getting loads of free equipment here, right? Right, peeps?
You see a figure emerge out of the liquid, like the hatch of liquid is, and it's headless, and then it just kind of like swoop and like falls to the side again. It's just another suit of armour.
I'm going to try and like pick up like one of the knives and throw it in. Like why not? Let's see
Yeah,
what
okay,
happens.
yeah.
Why not?
Like, why not?
Why don't
Test these
you?
things.
Why don't we just see if you can aim? Right? Do you want to give me a wee throwing check? And we can learn how the fuck throwing works. Hashtag here we go for language.
What even would be a throwing check?
Why don't we learn that now as a team? Everybody, to the book!
To the book!
So throwing a knife is essentially what he's trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
At a non-moving target, so the DC is probably like 10 anyway. Or its AC, I should say, is probably 10, because it's not moving. I think that's non-moving. Like, can someone look up what hitting a non-moving target is? And then somebody else look up how to throw.
How is throw?
How does throw? And we'll try and suss this out.
If you're attacking with a thrown weapon, your range attack bonus equals your base attack bonus determined by your class and level, blah blah blah, plus your strength modifier. So it's basically just a normal check but with strength. It's like a range check but with strength instead.
Sure, yeah. And do you know what the AC is that we're fighting? Because I think it's probably 10, but I mean, I'm actually not 100% on that. I just feel like I read 10 somewhere, you know?
There's a fucking grid that has it somewhere, isn't there?
Somewhere.
Like, oh, look, messing with the thrown weapon, that's relevant.
There's DCs to break objects.
Yeah,
That sort of stuff.
I've seen that, but surely like shooting something that is a non-moving.
Range attacks with thrown weapon.
An object's armor class is equal to 10 plus modifier due to its
Due to its what? You can't.
due to its size, and then there's a table.
What's
So it's on page 409 of the
Oh,
rulebook.
nice. Well
Let
done.
me find that. Thank you. 409.
So
Although also the bit on 245 might be relevant if he misses.
2, 4.
is that the scatterers?
It is indeed.
No, it's fine. It won't matter too much. All right. So essentially, just roll that check for me.
It's
Chuck knife basically is this check, isn't it? Really. So.
right. Let's see.
This is when like he ends up like bullseyeing it right off the walls, and it springs back and stabs him in the shin or something.
Since I don't actually have this, can I just
type forward
20
slash
plus 2?
/R space 1d20 plus 2. Yeah, if that's what your stats are. Yeah.
Base attack plus 1 strength. Cool.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you hit. So you maybe like pick up one of the knives at your feet. Like maybe like as you stand like in the room, like you kind of like kick into them and a bunch of them scatter a bit, and you just maybe look down, pick up one, and just throw it into the wormhole, I think, as you dubbed it. Like as it kind of like sticks in, as like where the blade sticks in, you see the kind of like blue goop kind of wrap around it, and then you see like the silvery effect again when it moves and it shimmers, and then it just slowly pulls the knife in, and then the knife vanishes. You hear almost like a fizzing sound.
Swear to
Acidic
God,
fizzing?
is this a fucking gelatinous cube?
I mean, we'll find
It
out, right?
actually could be a gelatinous
It
cube.
really
couldn't
could,
it?
yes.
It really could be a gelatinous cube. Okay.
They generally
right,
don't spit things out, though.
that's actually very true as well.
I mean,
Maybe.
just to be that guy.
There's a lot of stuff in it.
Fucking neckbeard.
It's obvious.
Pardon my language. Sorry.
If I mean metagame some point, it's obviously connected to the disappearance to the people because this seems to be their equipment.
I did ask that, and he didn't
You
say
didn't?
that it was equivalent. I did
Well-
ask if it was similar to the guards' helmets, and he says it's just generic helmets. Like,
I mean, generic helmets doesn't mean it isn't.
yeah, that's true.
They were quite
Didn't
generic
remember
guards.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Stats say generic
Would
guards.
we actually necessarily know is the other thing? Like in character, would we
Well, Zora shot at 2 guards, right?
recognize it? That's true. Yeah, I suppose you got a decent look.
Like
But then-
Zora saw 2 guards standing at that big column where the
Yeah.
Alice suit of armor came from, and then obviously used
Bit of a
flashback.
close encounter.
But no, like I mean, it wasn't like they had the patch of the Baskerville research station on them, and then this armor was like, oh my god, it's Baskerville armor. No, it just looked like something you'd buy off a shelf.
Right. Okay. But is it similar in looks to what they were wearing? That's the question.
I mean, if by what you mean it would look like body armor, then I mean yeah, it looked like body armor. But unless you're gonna try and make I totally studied them in the time because really what I did was I grilled at them and shot them after I gave them the option to surrender.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean you didn't really ask to
Yeah.
try and identify them at the time, so you don't really know. You just remember there was some time jank that you think happened.
Cool.
Yeah.
But so I'll probably just pay no heed then, to be honest with you. Pay no heed.
So basically, this thing
Ah.
basically ate the knife.
Right. Yeah. I don't want to summon the ship. I'm pressing the button to get that out of the smuggler's compartment.
Sure, yeah. So you hear like the kind of almost like the mag hum as like the lights flicker in the room. The lights all kind of like slowly spark on, but the ones like above where the missing doorway is kind of like flicker off and on, and then the platform starts to raise up. So like the suit of armor and stuff like it's like pushed to the side as this kind of shimmering blue, kind of like again cubish shaped thing comes up from the ground, and just fills the entire space that you're in. And obviously you've got that room to like maneuver out of the smuggler's compartment through the side door which leads to the the cargo hold. So obviously you would slide the door open, almost like a kind of, I guess, a slidey door, and then you would push this out. It's one of those kind of like false doors, for your smuggler's compartment.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I was.
But basically, the only thing that you can see is the hover platform that the crate was on is the only thing left. The crate seems to be gone.
Okay.
You're just kind of looking at this shimmering bluish, silverish cube that's about 5 foot by 5 foot.
Okay. Is it still on the hover sled?
Yeah.
Like, it's not. Right. Okay. That's interesting. It's not swallowing up the hover sled. That's good. That's convenient, actually.
I know, right? Imagine how awkward it would have been trying to like scoop this thing out of this hole.
Yeah, it would have been very annoying, actually. Yeah, I would try and. Oh my god, that was a loud one.
I think what we'll do, right? So what we'll do is we'll have you hit the button on the side, and this thing just slowly emerges out of the floor. And then as you're looking at it, you kind of just like narrow your eyes at the hover sled and go, And then we'll cut there. We'll go to the other group. Guys, you're at the T-junction. What are you doing? What's the plan?
Oh,
Can
I'm
you
assuming everyone else is wanting to get back to the ship quickly.
Yep, so obviously Alice is last out the lab doors, and then just behind her she just hits the wall panel, and then it closes the airlock behind her. So what's the plan? We've got Mr. Lyko, Mr. Nix, and Miss Emmelyn.
And Alice.
I mean, Alice is there. I've described Alice.
Yeah.
I've
Then
got
I
her.
think we head back post haste, right?
Yeah. Do we know which way to go?
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
like-
you came down this way,
With
yeah.
Alice.
Follow the pathway of lizard-shaped destruction.
I mean, yeah. That was the kind of whole point of Zora running off, and
I
that way
think, I
was to
think
clear
that's
the way.
actually like a monk school in D&D.
Yeah, lizard-shaped destruction.
Um,
I'll make that class one day.
If Alice carries the computer, will that slow us down much?
I mean, yeah.
That's
Alice.
a little hard down much.
Yeah, I was gonna say she can't really run with it, so yeah, she'd be at like a walking pace.
Do we care much about?
It basically depends on like as you all get there and you are like, right, okay, we're just gonna make a run for the ship. Obviously the three of you do your little huddle, and then Alice kind of like walks up and then kind of just kicks the computer a little to get your attention. Goes, so, and then kind of just nods at it.
How long is it going to take us to get back?
You don't really know. Like it took you hours to get here in the first place, but you don't really know the efficiency of Zora. Like Zora didn't actually go into any detail about how efficient.
Would Alice know, like, how long this path takes?
No, like
Nah,
you went the path normally, right? It's like through all the kind of the debris, and that's the only path Alice knows because she knows how long it took you guys to get here. She doesn't have any more information than you guys do.
Okay.
So basically,
I
it took
guess-
several hours to get here through all the jank, and the only thing you know is that Zora ran through those decontamination doors, and then you lost track of Zora.
How much time has passed since we split up?
Like probably about maybe just over an hour, maybe.
I guess we should probably prioritize surviving at this stage.
Like I'd say maybe an hour and a half. Let's go with that. Probably an hour and a half has passed, whereas it probably took about 3-4 hours to get, maybe even 5 hours actually to get all the way here in the first place. But as we know in the meta, Zora took a much more direct, I am ripping things open, smashing through things, shooting things, etc. to get back.
The thing is, I know he's already back to the ship.
Yeah.
So, no, it's not going to take that long.
Yeah.
Following the same path.
It's true.
So,
Assuming the damage Zora caused didn't make further damage, and thus causing. But, I mean, yeah. Let's just say yes. You know that. You know Zora's back on the ship. Yeah, you're right.
I would assume that he did it in a way that leaves us.
You are welcome to make those assumptions. So yeah, so basically, Alice is basically waiting. Like she's basically kicked that thing to get everybody's attention. Everybody turns around and looks at her. She looks at the big giant computer console. She's kind of waiting on the "Are we bringing this or are we not?" acknowledgement.
How about we say yes, and I can calm her and tell her to drop it if she's taking too long. Because we still need to get the ship ready.
So what did you say to her?
I mean, it depends if the others agree with that.
Well, say it as Nix. Don't say it as Alex.
We're going to need some time to get to grips with this wormhole situation before we take off, so...
Alice looks confused, like, wormhole situation?
You'll see on the ship.
I'm not sure it really is a wormhole situation, but no.
Well, the
I'd-
captain said
You
it's a
know, see
wormhole.
what I'm seeing.
Yeah, the captain says it's a wormhole situation, so that means it's a wormhole situation, right? That's why he's the captain.
Maybe that, like we've got the scene of Emmelyn at the left hand side of the screen, Lyko going at the right hand side of the screen, and in the middle you've just got Nix 5 who blinks really slowly.
Well... Yes.
That was such a Colin response.
Yeah, kind of.
What do we need the computer for anyway?
It's going to include all the extra information on this news that Alice is wandering around in.
She can just figure it out.
And like,
Yeah,
Alice, see, as you say that, Alice looks really like happy that you said that, and then she kind of like gives you like a thumbs up and winks at you.
I entirely ignore that.
Yeah.
I just have some concerns about what Alice figuring it out would mean for the rest of us in a small ship.
I have concerns about this wormhole. I feel much more pressing. So
I have
Okay.
concerns.
Do you want to share them?
Just broadly, I mean,
I like they did maybe gestures around the cracking like space
this is
station.
absolutely. Like, gesture with one hand, gun in the other. This is all pretty concerning.
Is the term foobar? Is that the term?
Yeah, that is the term.
How about the three of us focus on getting our ship ready, and Alice can drag the computer along. She'll catch up with us.
She like furrows her digital brow, a phrase I never thought I would say, and she stares at you and you're like, I don't want left behind.
We won't leave without you.
How about I back up Alice, just in case?
If you're willing to do that, Lyko.
I think we should drop the computer run. I don't think we need the computer.
You see Alice's like head move between everybody that's speaking at the time, but she's not really putting any more input, and she's kind of waiting to see what the decision is because she kind of knows she's like an additional to the party.
If everyone else is willing to accept the risk, and
There's a warmer situation. I think we need to deal with that
yeah,
on my ship. I
okay.
want to deal with that.
In that case, let us go and look at the wormhole on your ship.
Okay, so I think with that, maybe you all just start heading towards like basically the path of Zora destruction. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so maybe
Massive beast resistance.
I think what we'll do then is we'll fade out on you guys like starting to head through, and then the camera will do that drifty zoomy thing, and then the starting chords of Man Who Sold the World will play, and then it'll just fade out into the we will be right back after this break, and we'll come back at 9. Stay tuned, listeners, for part 2. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.